And now, the general weather around Alaska.
Welcome to the public section of the Alaska weather broadcast for the National Weather Service here in Alaska. I'm Eric Holloway with the National Weather Service, September 15, 2023. A couple of options for you. 1-800 number gets you through a phone menu system. And out on the World Wide Web at weather.gov/Alaska, where you can find some more information. And lastly, you have an email that you can email us, or if you have any questions, comments, or concerns. For the watch, warning, and advisory map, we only have a watch out for through tonight, through midnight for portions of the eastern Alaska range for high winds. So be looking out for that. Also, we have a lot of stuff going on in the marine forecast. We'll get into that a little bit later, but lots of small craft and gale warnings out for much of the Gulf region and like I said, in through the inside waters there. So check those out if you have a chance. So looking at the satellite information here, you can see a system pulling through the Bering Sea, Aleutians, and another system there in the Gulf of Alaska, and that's going to be driving the weather here. This parade of systems is going to continue over the next couple of days. We'll be looking at that, the surface map. Clouds through much of southern mainland and some scattered precipitation across much of the southern mainland, and some clouds up there with another low up. It's going to be with us up there near Kotzebue, driving some cloudiness up there, and weak onshore flow driving some cloudiness along the Arctic coast, as you can see there as we move this in motion here. But what does this look like at the surface map for today? 985 millibar low in the Gulf of Alaska, driving with precipitation out along the coast, and some clouds up through the southern mainland. There's that low out there near Kotzebue, 992 millibar low with trough between those two systems. And there's the next system coming into view in the Aleutians, 982 millibar low with a warm front, cold front. And actually, if you get into the interior, actually pretty nice weather up there with some sunny weather in through the interior, looking at the webcams from the FAA. So pretty nice weather through the interior and probably down through much of the Yukon Basin. For tonight's weather, that low in the Gulf, now a 987 millibar low with a occluder front driving some pretty good precipitation and very strong winds. Strong winds is probably the most impactful weather associated with this low. Snow showers through the higher elevations of the Alaska Range, Chugach Range, St. Elias, and the coastal mountains again for tonight's weather. And precipitation at the lower elevations, especially along the coastal areas into the Panhandle, and the next system coming into the view there near the southern end of the Alaska Peninsula, 979 millibar low with a occluder front, warm front, cold front, and some clearing weather out behind that system out there with the ridge, 1,019 millibars there. And there's that low up there near Kotzebue driving some mixed precipitation around a trough into the Brooks Range and down through the portions of the Yukon Basin. For Saturday's weather, that low now in the Gulf of Alaska as the next system comes in there, 974 millibar low with a occluder front, warm front, cold front, and precipitation again along the coastal areas, anywhere from the Kodiak Island up through Prince William Sound into Panhandle. Snow showers at the higher elevations of the Alaska Range, Chugach Range, into the St. Elias Mountains. Also some mixed precipitation in the northern portions of the Panhandle. Also back through the west and western interior, some scattered showers through that region. And there's that low again out there near Kotzebue. Another system way out there in the western Bering Sea. That ridge that moves further east, now 1,020 millibar high, centered over the eastern Aleutians. For Sunday's weather, that 987, now a 987 millibar low, approaching the Panhandle with continued rain showers in that region. Again, some snow showers at the high elevations of the Alaska Range, Chugach Range, mountains of the southern mainland. And that low moving near Kotzebue, moving slightly eastward into the Brooks Range, driving some mixed precipitation up there. And another system coming into view there, again, the southern end of the Alaska Peninsula, with a weakening system out there in the Bering Sea. So for low temperatures, Saturday morning, I'll move out of the way a little bit here. 48 there at Ketchikan, 51 at Sitka, 50s and 40s down through the Panhandle into the northeast Gulf Coast with Yakutat 46, Valdez 40, 40s through much of south central, 45 there in Anchorage, 45 in Kodiak, 40s through much of that region. And then for high temperatures Saturday afternoon, 50s through much of the Panhandle, 56 there in Haines, 50s through South Central, and even a 46 there, 53 in Kodiak, 50 in Anchorage. Then for low temperatures Sunday morning, looking at 52 there in Ketchikan, but 50s through much of the Panhandle, 50 there in Haines, 45 in Yakutat, Valdez 41, 40s through much of the South Central area, 39 there in McGrath. Then for high temperatures Sunday afternoon, 55 there in Ketchikan, 50s through much of the Panhandle, 53 there in Juneau, 56 in Yakutat, 50s through South Central, 49 in McGrath, 54 in King Salmon, 56 in Kodiak. Then for low temperatures Saturday morning for the interior, North Slope, looking at 39 there in Fairbanks, 33 in Eagle, 35 in Fort Yukon, 37 across much of the Arctic coast there, 31 in Anativik Pass, and then 30s through much of that region. And then for high temperatures Saturday afternoon, looking at 61 there in Fairbanks, looks like it's going to be the high reading of from the area. Otherwise 50s through the interior and Yukon Basin, 40s as you get into Brooks Range and North Slope with 40 there at Ukqiavik, 51 in Galena. Then for low temperatures Sunday morning, looking at 41 there in Fairbanks, but otherwise 40s scattered throughout much of the interior, 30s as you get into Brooks Range, North Slope with 31 in Anativik Pass, 39 in Tanana. Then for high temperatures Sunday afternoon, looking at 51 there in Fairbanks, 55 in Fort Yukon, but 50s through the Yukon and Tanana Basin, and 40s through the North Slope and Brooks Range. Then for low temperatures down through the southwest Alaska Peninsula and into the Aleutians, 40 there in Aniak, Cold Bay 44, 46 in Dutch Harbor, Shimei 50, St. Paul 43. Then for high temperatures Saturday afternoon, looks like 50s down through the southwest and Alaska Peninsula and through much of the region, with St. Paul 52 and Aniak 50. And then low temperature Sunday morning, looking at 30s and 40s throughout much of the region, with 39 there at Aniak. And then we've got Cold Bay 43, Dutch Harbor 46, and St. Paul 44. High temperature Sunday afternoon, looking at 50 there in Aniak and 55 in Cold Bay, 55 Dutch Harbor, Shimei 55, and St. Paul 52. For the CPC 6 to 10 day temperature outlook for September 21 through September 25th, looking at cooler tilts for temperature across much of the south central region into the southeast interior and Panhandle, otherwise normal conditions across much of the rest of the state. And then for CPC 6 to 10 day precipitation outlook for September 21st through September 25th, looks like we're going to be leaning towards above normal precipitation across much of the mainland, near normal conditions across the southern coast and Panhandle.